Welcome friends, the topic of today's video is yolk sac. In this video, we will discuss the formation, changes in the yolk sac and functions of the yolk sac. The yolk sac is the cavity which develops in the blastocystic cavity, or we can say the cavity of the blastocyst. Now we will discuss the formation of the yolk sac. The yolk sac is formed in the following four stages. First is the primary yolk sac, second is the secondary yolk sac, then the third is the definitive yolk sac, and the fourth is the umbilical vesicle and the veterinary duct. Now we will see how the yolk sac is formed. In this first diagram, you can see the blastocyst, in which this is the epiblast layer. This is the hypoblast layer. This black line is the trophoblast cell layer which is surrounding this blastocyst. And the green color cells, flat cells, are the amniogenic cells. Which are derived by proliferation of the epiblast cell layer. The epiblast cell layer are columnar in shape and hypoblast cell layer is flat to low cuboidal in structure. The cavity which is enclosed by the amniogenic cells superiorly and inferiorly by the epiblast cell layer is the amniotic cavity. And this below cavity, which is lined by hypoblast cell layer and by the trophoblast cell layer, is known as the blastocystic cavity. Okay. Now the hypoblast cell layer proliferate and surround this blastocyst cavity by flat cells. This flat layer of cell, which is derived from the hypoblast cell layer, is known as Husser's membrane. Okay? After the development of the Husser's membrane, now this blastocystic cavity will be known as the primary yolk sac. Okay, so if we summarize it, the hypoblast cell layer proliferate to line the blastocystic cavity by flat cells which are known as Husser's membrane, and then the blastocystic cavity will be known as the primary yolk sac. Now the second stage, that is the secondary yolk sac. After the formation of the primary yolk sac, these yolk sac cells will secrete a connective tissue, loose connective tissue around it or in the space between the trophoblast and the yolk sac. This loose connective tissue between the trophoblast cell layer and the primary yolk sac is known as extra-embryonic mesoderm. Okay? After the formation of the extra-embryonic mesoderm, some lacunas or spaces appears in this mesoderm. These small lacuna will coalesce or join together to form a cavity which is surrounding this yolk sac. This cavity, which is developing in the extra-embryonic mesoderm, is known as extra embryonic coelom. Okay? So extra embryonic coelom is formed in the extra embryonic mesoderm. This extra embryonic coelom will divide the extra embryonic mesoderm into two layers. This is the first layer, which is adjacent to the primary yolk sac, and this is the second layer, which is adjacent to the trophoblast cell layer. The first one is known as splanchnopluric extra embryonic mesoderm. Okay? And the second layer, which is adjacent to the trophoblast cell layer, will be known as somatopluric extra embryonic mesoderm. Okay? After the formation of the extra embryonic coelom in the extra embryonic mesoderm, a small part of the primary yolk sac is pinched off like this. So this small part of the primary yolk sac has been pinched off, which has led to reduction in the size of the primary yolk sac. And now this reduced primary yolk sac will be known as secondary yolk sac. Okay? So this is the second stage of development, which is formed when the extra embryonic coelom is formed in the extra embryonic mesoderm. A small part of the primary yolk sac is pinched off to form a reduced yolk sac, which is known as secondary yolk sac. Now the third stage, that is the definitive yolk sac. Now come on to this diagram. After the folding of the head and tail end of the embryo, a part of the secondary yolk sac is included into the embryo. This part of the secondary yolk sac, which is included into the embryo, will form the primitive gut. Okay? And a small projection of the yolk sac is developed, which is projecting into the developing connecting stalk. This is the connecting stalk. Which will later on give rise to the umbilical cord. This small projection is known as the allantois. Okay? So from this diagram, we can see that the intraembryonic part of the secondary yolk sac will form the primitive gut, and this extra embryonic part of the secondary yolk sac, which is lying outside the embryo, it will be known as the definitive yolk sac. Okay. Now, after the formation of the definitive yolk sac, look into this diagram. In this diagram, this extra embryonic part of the yolk sac or the definitive yolk sac will undergo hourglass-like contraction. Okay? Which is due to the folding of the embryo. Now the definitive yolk sac will form a small vesicle-like structure which is connected to the midgut of the primitive gut tube by a duct which is known as the vitellointestinal duct. And this small vesicle structure will be known as the umbilical vesicle. The vitellointestinal duct and the allantois will form the content of the connecting stalk or the double umbilical cord. So these are the formation and changes in the yolk sac. So if we summarize it, first stage is the primary yolk sac, which is formed from the blastocystic cavity after the formation of the Usher's membrane. Next stage is the secondary yolk sac, which is formed after the formation of the extra embryonic coelom, and a small part of the primary yolk sac is pinched off to form a reduced cavity, which is known as secondary yolk sac. Then, after the folding of the embryo, a part of the secondary yolk sac is included into the embryo, which will form the primitive gut, and the part which is lying outside the embryo will be known as the definitive yolk sac. A small part projects outside the embryo into the connective stalk, which is known as the allantois. Now the definitive yolk sac will undergo hourglass-like contraction due to the more folding of the embryo, and to form a small vesicle-like structure, which is known as umbilical vesicle, connected to the midgut by the vetlo-intestinal duct. Okay. Now the functions of the yolk sac. Functions. First is the hematopoiesis. The yolk sac will form blood cells till 6th week of development. After that, other organs of the body take over. Second is the formation of the primitive gut tube, which we have already seen. A part of the secondary yolk sac is included into the embryo, which will form the primitive gut tube. Third is the formation of germ cells. Germ cells are formed in the wall of the yolk sac. Then they migrate to the developing gonads, that is testes and ovaries, in the 4th week of development. Fourth point is the allantois. And the allantois will later on form the urachus, and the remnant of the urachus in the adults is the median umbilical ligament. So these are the 4 functions of the yolk sac. That is, first is the hematopoiesis, second is the formation of the primitive gut tube, third is the formation of the germ cells, fourth is the allantois. Okay. Also, the primary yolk sac is also known as primitive yolk sac. So this is all about the yolk sac. Thank you very much.